tied to a tree, scarred, and left passed out in the sun. The Challenger Foundation was a hell camp for teens before it was thankfully shut down. There are plenty of ways for parents to go about teaching, incentivizing, and disciplining kids. But what if a kid is chronically misbehaving in a dangerous, self-injurious, illegal kind of way and causing serious hardships for family, teachers, etc.? We're talking way beyond angsty adolescent foolishness. One thing's for sure, most parents would not opt for middle-of-the-night kidnappings, heat-stroke-inducing desert hikes, and corporal punishment. But at the 1988 established Challenger Foundation in the deserts of Utah, such things were commonplace. In fact, they were preferable. As sites like the Daily Mail and the U.S. Sun outlined, the Challenger Foundation was an intensive, brutal residential rehab program for rebellious, wayward teens and intended to, quote, wear kids down until they're good again. Founder and former military operative Steve Cardasano, aka the godfather of wilderness therapy treatment, charged parents $15,900 for 63 days of punishing outdoor activities, military-style discipline, and more to set their kids straight.
The thing about Steve was people either loved him or despised him.
A mere 2 years after its founding, however, the Challenger Foundation collapsed. A 16-year-old died of exertional heat stroke, and others were tied to trees, dragged around, and bore scar after scar. Cardasano was charged with negligent homicide and multiple misdemeanor counts of child abuse, and his wilderness therapy program was done. The new 2023 Netflix documentary Hell Camp: Teen Nightmare tells the tale of the Challenger Foundation, complete with testimonials from survivors. One person in the doc says,
I think he was ahead of his time. He had this great idea.
It's called the Challenger Foundation.
The ethos of the program could be boiled down to aphorisms like, the kids are worn down until they're good again, and we're made better by struggle. In the right context, such statements sound like boilerplate armed forces catchphrases, like the ones Cardasano himself might have once uttered. The reality of everyday life at the Challenger Foundation, however, went far beyond reforming troubled kids and veered hard into cruelty. From 500-mile hikes to strip searches, Cardasano really did want to wear kids down and remold them from the soles up. When other camp counselors were taken on board the project, these individuals reportedly turned further toward negligence and abuse. Reportedly, students were exposed to the elements, including scorching days and freezing nights. They were starved till emaciated and tied to trees if they didn't comply with authority. During a speech on Capitol Hill in 2021, Paris Hilton, who attended a similar camp, said she was slapped, strangled, and forced to shower while male counselors watched. In 1990, 16-year-old Kristen Chase got a headache while on a hike. She collapsed to the ground, started hallucinating, and eventually died. That was the end for the Challenger Foundation. Overall, it's not incorrect to say that hardship yields resilience. Wilderness programs, as they're called, still exist to this day. Even a cursory Google search reveals loads of them, like Newport Academy, Aspiro Adventure, Second Nature, and many more. As Open Sky Wilderness Therapy states, these camps help, quote, young adults struggling with difficult challenges in life circumstances. Very Well Mind describes wilderness therapy as a form of intensive psychological therapy focused on overcoming challenges, developing relationships, etc. That being said, loads of outlets question the safety and validity of such programs. Steve Cardasano certainly proved that you didn't need to care about either safety or children when he formed the Challenger Foundation back in 1988, and his methods, to put it lightly, left a lot to be desired. Strangely, however, families like that of Kristen Chase, who died from heat stroke, didn't blame Cardasano for anything. Chase's mother, Sharon Frequois, said via the U.S. Sun, "We're not condemning Challenger. I've never met any more dedicated, loving people striving to help children." Nonetheless, Cardasano was charged with negligent homicide for Chase's death and 9 other misdemeanor counts of child abuse. He was found not guilty, but not before the Challenger Foundation went broke. Cardasano went on to found similar programs, Healthcare America and Pacific Coast Academy, both of which were shut down following evidence of abuse. Cardasano died from a heart attack in 2019. If you or someone you know may be the victim of child abuse, please contact the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD. 1-800-422-4453, or contact their live chat services.